Hello world, I'm Carp. Welcome back to NEO Scavenger Post-Apocalyptic Badass World. Last time I left off it was September 21st and now it is September 28th, but we got $7,767 here, so I spent a week just marching back and forth through this little hill with water and coming here and selling the water. Like, this is full of water now because I just stopped selling all this stuff. Let's turn that off to not use any of the power. Like, this is the amount of water bottles I had with me to do this whole thing, and plus these ones, which I'm keeping for myself right now. A couple of things that happened here during this time I think I need to mention. I mean, not that anything that really happened, because I bought us a couple of new Hayapupis, which are in 100% condition. Our shopping cart is in very low condition because, you know, we've been rolling water with it for a week. Our backpack is in a little bit worse condition than it should be because it took me a couple of days to realize, hey, if I put stuff in here, even the backpacks, they don't deteriorate, their condition stays the same. So at some point I realized to put it here. Unfortunately, they didn't sell us any of the big backpacks here while we were here, so that's kind of unfortunate. We'll probably wait till tomorrow before we actually leave onwards from here. Also, yeah, I bought us some night vision goggles, but I haven't seen any batteries that go in this, because I don't think regular batteries go in this. Do they? Okay, there's some regular batteries. Let's test it. No, regular batteries don't go into the night vision goggles, so we haven't seen any night vision goggle batteries, but I bought them. And then I realized that, wait, the reason we did this whole thing to get all this money is just because once we go inside the DMC, we're gonna do the eye surgery, and that's gonna give us night vision, so we're actually never gonna need these goggles. But hey, the good thing about this game is that stuff you buy, you can sell it at the exact same price as you bought it for if it's still in 100% condition, so that's good. Oh, so we have a bottle of water here. Don't need to be here. I probably had that there all the time. Never just sold it. Okay, and otherwise I think, yeah, that's I think everything that's happened in this 1 week. I probably should have bought like good shirts or something here, but I didn't realize until now. But hey, that is not important right now. What is important, we're gonna go to Detroit Mega City. Navigating the twisty maze. No, wait, we read this already last time. At the front of the line, the guard motions you closer. A moment of pregnant silence precedes a satisfying chirp, and the monitor flashes. Visitor pass N6MAE AA10816 authorized. The guard ushers you forward, and you begin down a longish stretch of empty corridor lined with Haas xenon lighting. Beyond the opening at the other end, you see throngs of activity and the flicker of busy signage eclipsed by passing people. And so here we are once again in the Detroit Mega City. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Hager the Health Clinic. Oh, one thing I should have mentioned also that, well, let's do this first and then I'll talk about it. Hager the Health Clinic is a pretty busy spot. Its proximity to Gate 11 and its mercenary attitude toward clientele ensures that it has a steady stream of business from both inside the DMC and Sprawl. The Double H, as it's often called, offers a wide spectrum of health services. Those include diagnostics, cleaning and dressing of wounds, therapeutics including nanorobotic suspension treatments, and prescription drugs. There's also an on-site augmentation clinic where patients can elect for prosthetic enhancements. These highly desired services may require special permits in addition to the significant price tags. As you cross the street, you can help noticing the activity on the rooftop. The high-pitched whines of turbines mark the comings and goings of hover vehicles spraying water from the landing pad into a fine mist that rains around the building. A large proportion of the vehicles appear to be unaffiliated private ambulance services. You huddle your shoulders against the spray and duck under the brightly lit awning. Staggered automatic doors form a crude air like shoes open as you approach. Okay, let's head inside. Inside, the lobby looks a lot like any other clinic. There are banks of attached seats covering most of the floor and counters for both receiving patients and dispensing pharmaceuticals. Dominating the right wall near a hallway and elevator bank is an LED sign displaying the currently served customers. Letter and number combinations update at random intervals as nurses escort patients to and from the room. You head over to the counter and get your waiting number. It isn't long before the LED lotto calls your number and you're led for consultation. What services do you require today? So, what I was going to talk about, unfortunately we can go see our inventory and things here. We got diarrhea at this moment because Apparently, eating too much of the non-veg soup from the Last Chance canteen causes diarrhea or gastroenteritis or whatever it is called. So we should really do maybe something about that, but I'm not really sure which of these things could be the thing for that. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go upstairs to the prosthetics and augmentation procedures. Hagley Health also offers several elective procedures which involve implanting devices and replacement tissue. Before receiving any such procedures, the patient must undergo preliminary testing for eligibility, as not all patients are good candidates for synthetic implantation or augmentation surgeries. Some procedures require additional testing, and in some cases special permits or authorizations. You begin speaking with an attendant who reviews your eligibility test result. Fortunately, initial testing to indicate that you are eligible for further augmentation and prosthesis. You are given a catalog of procedures currently offered by Haggerty. So, we are going to get the artificial eye replacement. Patients will be screened for eligibility in artificial eye replacement, including immunoreactivity. If eligible, the patient will have their natural eyes removed and replaced with Rose augmentation RA037 human eyes, which simulate perfect human visual acuity. The RA037 eyes are powered by non-linear piezoelectric harvesters. As such, they require no additional power supply for their operational lifetime, which is expected to exceed their host. Cost 5,600. Yes, please! After verifying there is no danger of synthetic rejection, you're escorted to an operating room, given fluid and nutrient IV insertions, and placed under local anesthesia. The procedure is lengthy and extremely complex, requiring precise manipulation of tissue at microscale. Much of the work is done via computer-aided telesurgery armature. When finished, there's a brilliant flash of geometry and patterns as the photoreceptors are activated. For several minutes, your vision passes in and out of focus, shifts colors, and goes black again as the devices are calibrated. You feel some anxiety at the lack of control. Finally, it stabilizes in a hyper-focused, almost unsettlingly crisp image, and your eyes begin their usual movements. You can see again. There's a mild aching, and your eye movements feel weaker. What's more, as you walk the room, steadied by a nurse, things seem to move differently around you. You're told it's a sensation that will pass with time. Your muscles will adjust to the slight differences in balance, and the image will become less unsettling. At the same time resting and working with therapists, you feel able to move again normally. You're taken to collect your things, and you get addressed. Is there anything else we can help you with? Yes, there is, because we are also going to take the night vision upgrade and the telescopic upgrade. Yep, patients have already received the eye replacement can have their units upgraded with the Rose augmentation RA056 low light photoreceptors to provide normal vision in low light conditions. The procedure is fast and simple, requiring only that the additional hardware be installed in the existing units. Yep, we're taking that. For the upgrade, you're led to a fitting room where you sit upright as a technician prepares the materials. He unlocks a glass display case and removes a small dustproof tray lined with foam. Inside are two metallic cylinders, which he removes and prepares to install. The procedure is a bit uncomfortable, as a technician has to handle your artificial eye to insert the upgrade. However, it's fairly quick, and the lack of pain receptors on the artificial eyes means the sensation is mainly limited to pressure in the eye sockets. As he finishes their installation, he explains it may feel unusual for a while. The upgrade is primarily a thermoelectric cooling device to reduce thermal noise. The interior of the eye will cool, but as a result the exterior will become warmer. It won't cause any damage, but it takes some getting used to. After a few tests with the lab lights dimmed on and off, you gather your things. Is there anything else you can help me with? Yes, you can. I'm also gonna take the telescopic upgrade. Yeah, we can replace them with the Rose augmentation RA043 optical zoom, which increases their visual range. It's relatively simple once more, so we will order that. For the upgrade, you're led to a fitting room where you sit upright as a technician prepares the materials. He unlocks a glass display case and removes a white retail box. Inside are two replacement lenses consisting of the frontal sclera and adjustable lens components. Due to the fact that the eye will be unsealed during the procedure, you're subjected to local anesthesia for the procedure. It's relatively quick, however, as it's just swapping out of parts while your eyes are fixed forward. I can feel like, however, there's somehow superfluous. Okay. As the anesthetics wear off, you're led into an observation lounge and asked to focus on several distant objects in the Detroit skyline. It's surprisingly powerful zoom, even compared to traditional optics like binoculars. You're able to make out detail at a great range, limited more by air density and haze than anything else. Satisfied the procedure worked, the technician excuses himself and you gather your things. Okay, let's take full diagnostic work up here. Since we still have a lot of money, I didn't need to... I could have spent like maybe 2 days less doing this thing. But yeah, maybe they can tell us what we need to do to get rid of our diarrhea. Patient will receive a battery of tests, including blood testing, imaging, full physical and toxicology screens. Yeah. Unlike the diagnostics practice of old, modern diagnostics can largely be performed without having to frequently change rooms and setups. Improvements in imaging, shielding, and sampling techniques, as well as greater understanding of biology, have led to more comprehensive and compact diagnostic procedure. The process is reminiscent of a CAT scan, followed by extraction of fluid and tissue samples. Results are then processed by a computer, and the technicians interpret the output. When finished, a nurse reviews your diagnostics with you. Patient diagnosis: gastroenteritis. Yes. Okay, now you could have told me what to do with that, though. Maybe we just need to buy some antibiotics and eat them, and it'll be fine. Rehydration, full diagnosis, cure body temperature regulation, sedatives, TX. Honestly, none of this like feel like there's the broad-based nanorobotic suspension treatment, which I mean, compare the fact that it only costs 60 more bucks than the antibiotics. So let's do the broad-based nanorobotic suspension treatment. See if that helps us with our gastroenteritis. Yep. We'll do it. What is it actually doing? Patient will receive nanorobotic suspension dosage intravenously, which combats several known illnesses and poisons and bolsters the body's immune system and natural healing rate. Yeah. Though one of the simpler processes offered by the clinic, it remains one of the most requested and takes place in a larger room with many other patients receiving the same service. You're sat in a chair similar to those used in blood donations, and an IV is inserted into your arm. The suspension takes a while to be absorbed, but once done, technicians verify that the body has begun processing it and the nanorobots are active. Satisfied, the technician directs you to an attendant who then processes the order. Okay, and that is all we need. So we're gonna leave the Haggerty Health Clinic. Let's head to the Red Gnome. No, so this is just a restaurant here. We're gonna see if there's anything else we can do here than eat food. And no, we're not gonna eat food, so we're just gonna leave. And then we're going to the Detroit Savings Bank. Detroit Savings Bank turns out to be a surprisingly tricky business to find. It has a presence for certain. Self-service terminals are near ubiquitous, winking at passers-by from countertops, ad walls, and alcoves. But there's little more to those terminals than signage, lights, and a screen. There doesn't even appear to be a place to dispense cash, nor insert a card. After a bit of walking, though, you eventually find a Detroit Savings Bank micro branch with more than a screen. You're outside the Detroit Savings Bank Gate 11 micro branch. A secure climate-controlled booth, slightly larger than a covered bus stop, sits on the sidewalk here. It has the requisite self-serve terminal on the exterior, but looking through the transparent wall, there appears to be an actual human teller inside. So, let's just enter the booth. You pull the transparent door open and step through. Inside, you're greeted with bright colored light and dry, tepid air. The teller, a presentable-looking young woman with straight brown hair, looks up from her terminal warm. Hello, she says. Is there anything which I can assist you today? So, there's this weird thing where we can pretend to be a mentally retarded patient. But that really seems to be the best course of option here. I'm not really sure. Because I know that if we talk about the cryo facility account, it just leads to pretty much nothing. So, then let's pretend to be a mentally retarded patient. Striking your best, I don't know what's going on expression, you feign delight upon meeting the teller's gaze. Ambling toward her, you fish out something ridiculous and hold forward her like, ta-da! Oh, what have we here? She says, turning it over slowly and mock, oh, wow, this is impressive. We should deposit this right away. Reaching for a deposit slip, she asks, and which account should we deposit this? Give it the account number. Using your offhand, you scroll the account number in childlike handwriting. An idea seems to occur to her, and she starts typing into her console. A few moments later, she turns to you. Do you know Cale? Are you looking for Cale McAllen? She starts writing on her notepad. You furtively sneak a peek. McAllen, Cale, Concrete Forest Apartments, number 3935, Tower 48, 23140, Halstead Road, Detroit, G110901. Then she picks up her mobile and starts making a phone call. Already having what you came for, you begin shuffling back towards the door. Oh wait, Mr. Kindred, she calls up to you. Yes, sorry, may I have the number for Cale McAllen? How did she know, that we're Mr. Kindred? Well, we gave him the account number, that must tell her that information, right? Once it's out, you duck out of sight and put a block or two between you and the booth. Never know if someone might actually come looking. So, we know we're going to the Concrete Forest Apartments. Arriving at Concrete Forest Apartments, you immediately see the resemblance. Towering structures stand at regular intervals like giant artificial trees. Crisscrossing bound laundry lines, string lights, and country code balcony modifications complete the illusion. Below the ground is an organic patchwork of community gardens and trash heaps, gutted husk of cars and playgrounds, those who call the forests home and those who sleep in the shadow. It feels a bit like a street fair collided with a refugee camp in the ghetto. You step in the block and start looking around. So, the stuff here we could do, but I don't think any of that really helps us, so let's just head towards Tower 48. Judging by the signage, Tower 48 is a few rows south of here. You strike off in that direction, weave your way through the complex network of buildings, people, and detritus. Deep in the center of the block, you find number 48. The thing is easily 40 stories high, and like all the towers here, has an X-shaped cross-section. Also, like all the other towers, there's a secure entryway, some sort of card lock, likely to keep troublemakers like you out. Judging by the dents and marks all over the frame and glass, it's done its job handily over the years. So we could use trapping, we could wait, we could use the intercom, we could look for another way in. You know what, let's just use the intercom. In a movement beyond all reckoning, you forego fancy security hacks, brute force, and all other illegal entry attempts and decide to just use the doorbell. There's a list of names and room numbers on the wall, but you doubt anyone's updated in years. Some entries are blank, blocked out, or have disparaging graffiti next to them. No matter though, you punch in the apartment number you learned from the bank and await as the speaker emits a staticky call tone. A click interrupts the tone and they're supposed to... Hello? Not much to go on. Sounds like a kid answering the door while his parents are out. Is this Cale McGallen? Another pause. Yeah? His tone's getting a bit more confident. Whoa, this is it. This is him. You tracked dudes from across the state and ended up here. Does he have any answers to your questions? Can he tell you anything? Does he even know who you are? You know what? Let's just mention the bank account link. I think we have a bank account in common. That elicited a sneaker. Yeah, that figures. His tone is more cynical now, more driven. You know? Thank you, Mr. Kindred. Something's clicked inside him. You have no idea. No, really. Thank you. You're... well? He interrupts you. All these years, I had to wonder. My dad, they're supposed... God. Do you have any idea? I mean, do you have any idea how messed up things were? This isn't going well. No, it's good that you showed up. It's good. Because now I know you're just an asshole. Well, how do you know it now? I've just ringed your doorbell and asked if you're the person I'm looking for. Also, why is this saying brought Pierce throw? Let's just be into stabbing. His breath catches. Why my father, huh? Why'd you have to pick him? Why some other loser on the deep web? You fucking little drama. He's losing it. Why are you even still alive? Why couldn't you just, you know, fucking disappear like your asshole friend up in Grayling? Oh, that's news. Grayling? Actually, he's suddenly doing. Actually, yeah, you know what? He's moving. It sounds like he's across the room. It's unintelligible over the city, but he comes back. Exactly what you need. You hear that? You hear that, huh? Asshole? There's some beeping. Sound like he's dialing. Another pause. Yeah, Cale McGallen. This isn't good. Police? It might be time to go here. There's a man outside my apartment building. Well, I can be outside an apartment building. That's not illegal. Like, we could just wait for the police and say that, yeah, no, we just rang him, we knew him, and then he thinks he's doing something to us. Okay, let's see if we can maybe get something more out of it. Oh, right. So the cops are here. Sirens blare suddenly in the streets in a high wobbling burst. Blue and red strobes slide up the area's fan jets scatter moisture and debris around. A loudspeaker booms across the nearby building facade. This is Skycore Security. Step into the street and place your hands on top of your head. We're just gonna comply here. We've done nothing illegal so far, so... I mean, our day pass might be a forgery, though. Well, if we need another one, we know how to make money. You step in the sight slowly, careful not to give that sky jockey any reason to pull the trigger. A pinpoint flash of red emits from the sky bike's undercarriage, and your body is painted in a flickering crosshatch pattern. You're instructed to kneel, and you hear more sirens approaching through the canyons of buildings. Moments later, an armored Moody-Ville personal carrier appears, bearing the same colors and flashing lights as the Skycore bike. Bulky silhouettes emerge from the APC's glaring lights, and their shapes defined by heavy riot gear. They approach you, bind your hands, and half escort, half carry you up a ramp into an APC's holding area. All the while, the red beam from the Skycore bike traces your moves, only shutting off as you pass through the APC's bulkhead. Inside, you're stripped of anything useful and strapped into a restraining seat. The guards then step through another bulkhead and climb a step or two before sealing you in. You're left there, sitting in your restraints, looking around reinforced room with no windows. The sound of duct fans can be heard, but little else. Nothing seems to happen for an annoyingly long time, and then the APC begins moving. The acceleration is surprisingly subtle for such a big machine, though the ride is still pretty rough back here. When your ride comes to an end, the interior bulkhead, probably should be headed there, opens again, and the guards emerge to unfasten you. You're led to an exterior doorway, which blinds you when open. The sounds of the city spill through the door, along with damp exterior air. You're guided down a ramp, and just as your eyes begin to adjust, you're dropped into a seat. Inside, under pale lighting, you're made to wait in restraints for hours. Draped cubicles divide most of the floor, and stern-looking operatives interview detainees, check computers, and disappear into other cubicles. Your eyes mine every detail of the room, looking for anything interesting to sell on. White foam ceiling tiles, beige filing cabinets, black inbox, outbox trays, pine desktops. It's so sterile that it actually incites frustration. Helpfully, informational posters and propaganda seem to be hung on display to add a splash of color. DMC Premier Services, we care, and contraband, it hurt all of us. The missing person's touchscreen was good for about an hour, but you've memorized all the faces by now. By the time your case handler arrives, you count the ceiling tiles, group them in the shades of beige, and create an elaborate conspiracy linking all the missing persons. Your handler leads you to his cubicle, and you're subject to a battery of tests, including face scan, resonance scan, DNA sampling, fingerprinting, and blood sample. The interview is something of a comedy with questions like what is your full name, address, and date of birth. And when asked where you obtained the forged pass, your answer is received less than enthusiastically. You're escorted from the interview area and brought into an on-site clinic where you're strapped to a table and anesthetized. When you wake, you're in bench-in-paint cinder block room, leaning against a corner. Both your head and right shoulder ache. A piercing bleed fills the room as the injury comes to life. You have been charged as following: first-degree criminal trespassing, unauthorized access to a computer with intent to commit an offense, found and misuse of visas, conspiracy to defraud the city of Detroit, consorting with a known felon, failure to disclose personal information. Okay, I wonder what is my first-degree criminal trespassing. I haven't done any trespassing at all. And nor did I access a computer. I never accessed any computers here. Now, I might have misused a visa, and which might be a conspiracy to defraud the city. I mean, I did consort with Hatter, so this is probably a known felon. And okay, maybe I didn't. I mean, I have no personal information to give, so that's fine. The voice continues. You are hereby discharged from DMC Gate 11, marked and exiled for a period of 1 year. Failure to comply with this sentence is a cause for appended term of exile not to exceed 2 years per infraction. A door on the opposite wall buzzes and swings open, blinding you temporarily with the light from outside. When your eyes finally adjust, you see the cold, muddy streets outside the DMC walls, and the huddling throngs of sprawled inhabitants going about their business. Well, let's hope that we don't need to go back to Detroit ever again. I mean, I don't think we do, but do we still have... No, we no longer have gastroenteritis. Okay. So, one thing I noticed while I was editing the videos, you know, I always rewatch all my videos when I edit them, because there might be something I need to cut from a video, so that I always edit everything. But I noticed that we passed by this place here. I think this is the Frogger headquarters, and we might go there because there's stuff that happens there. But before we go there, let's go talk to Hatter. Also, what time it is? Come on, let's find the DMC here, because I want to know, did we actually... No, we didn't spend any actual time in Detroit. It just happened immediately. Okay, let's go to Hatter. We'll use this. We'll see if Hatter has any work for us. You step off the familiar lift, and Hatter turns to look at you, finishing his conversation. Private call with the client, boys. Hatter says to his Hargans. Don't worry if this one kills me. Your pensions are nil either way. He circles behind his desk, and when the guard shut the door behind him, says, we have to talk. Some people have reached out to me. Some very powerful, very dangerous people who made it abundantly clear that I'm treated lightly with this, hence the privacy. I can't tell you too many details, but not until I know you're taking it on. What I can tell you is that it pays well. Frankly, given the compensation package, you may never need a thing again. The catch is, well, as you might imagine, there's no cakewalk. Target's well protected, and you're expected to infiltrate rather than assault. Otherwise, I'd be having this conversation with a Merc company. And of course, your discretion is implied in the price. I should tell you, risks being what they are, I can only offer this to you once. He sits back, giving you a few moments to take this all in. Can I count on you? Let's see, if we ask who's your client, Hatter scratches his head. I wish I could be more forthcoming. I no doubt they're motivated with the financing to match. I wholly expect they'll pay upon delivery. You press him for more. He leans in. This is to say there's a group out there who doesn't get a lot of credit. Paranoid Luddites, seeing monsters in the shadows where there aren't any, and the like, fearing something coming. My client? They might be the fear thing, as real as you and me. Hatter dons a strained mouth. So, interested? Sure, I'll do it. Hatter seems more stressed than relieved. I was afraid you'd say that. But for the record, I chose you for a reason. Resourcefulness is a value trade these days. From the remaining mess in his office, he takes an atlas near fallen apartment pages to a map of Michigan. Up here, he says, circling on an area in the funnel, there's a military base. Camp Grayling, it used to be called, before the National Guard abandoned it. But don't get your hopes up. It said they left behind a state-of-the-art security system. All unmanned, of course. Just machines without masters who, as far as I know, have left no trespassers live. Ever. I've heard a rumor, though, he interrupts himself. Maybe I read it. Anyway, I seem to remember hearing some protesters got around the defenses back in the day. He thinks a moment. There's something embarrassingly low-tech, too. He shakes his head. I'll be damned if I can remember what, though. You might rummage through some old newspapers to see if you can find the story. It'd be getting chewed up by whatever they got running up there. But, Hatter exhales in a chuckle that's one part defeat, the other bemused. Might over matter, right? He takes out a small device from his pocket. Your job, besides infiltration, is to plant this right in the base intelligence mainframe. The software will do the rest, I'm told. Where that mainframe is, however, remains unclear. But the databanks they used in those days were huge. Look for biggest building and expect doorway to be unobvious. The most important thing, do not insert the bug without finding an ID badge on site first. The barracks may be a decent bet for that. Once the bug is in place, all you have to do is make your way back here and, well, we'll begin Operation Easy Living, so to speak. Okay, sure, I'll do that. Wow, Hatter says, some of his tension dissipating. That really is the spirit, right there. And here I was wishing I'd have had the backbone to refuse their deal. But enough about that, Hatter buzzes the guards back in. You have work to do, and I have a million things on my bucket list in case you really don't make it back. The guards allow you through, and before long you're bracing yourself against the chill air of the sprawled streets. So, Camp Grayling, all the way up here. We've been pretty close by to it, so. Now the question is, do we just go straight up there? I mean, we might. It might be fun to visit the Frogger encampment first, though. So, maybe we'll start heading that way. I mean, the Froggers are dangerous. Hello, boys. Got anything to talk about? Just keep your nose clean and we get no trouble, he says through his face mask. Okay, you got nothing to say, really, so yeah, let's start heading this way. I mean, it's on our way to Grayling, so let's pass by the place. Like, there's no reason to scavenge here until we get. Well, I mean, these places were scavenge worthy already, so maybe this. Oh, this isn't scavenge worthy. Oh, maybe it is. The plastic bag here. Okay, let's scavenge. Oh, night vision helps scavenge too. Didn't even realize that. Is it a light source? No. Ooh, we have a lot of things that will help scavenge from now on. Might take one more bottle so that I have a full row of bottles over here. Okay. Ooh. Scavenge locations. Okay, I wonder how many places we have to scavenge here now, because I spent that week gathering the water. It usually means that there's gonna be a lot of places to scavenge. Oh, that was just a forest. We really shouldn't have to scavenge there. Okay, do we have one painkiller? I'm pretty sure we can stack these. Yes, we can. And we really don't need anything. Oh man, I just realized we should have waited for the next day before leaving Detroit, because we should have checked if they'd be selling one of those big backpacks in the junk market, because that would have been useful before we left. Well, We'll see if they're selling one. Also, does this matter to our line of sight? Okay, we see, I think we see 4 tiles now. Yeah, so if we remove this, looks like we still see 4 tiles. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is, we see 5 tiles right now. Okay, so okay, it does give us 1 extra tile. Okay, yeah, we'll keep that. And we'll keep scavenging here. Basically, the only thing we're looking for right now is a new backpack, because our current one is gonna break at some point. I mean, it's 15%. Ugh. It's bad. I mean, you have a couple of higher poopies, but they're really, like, this amount of space they have isn't that big. So, we might run into some issues with that. Which is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Because we have so much stuff in there. Okay, let's scavenge here. Ooh, we found an empty water bottle. Empty. Full! And some zolpidem. I think that's a sleeping pill. Oh, actually, I think this is zolpidem. Yeah, it is. Good, so we don't need that. Condition point 3. Right, we'll check what we got in here. Okay, how good is that? Well, ours is better. We'll go. Oh, got a lot of locations to scavenge around here. But hey, looking at the time it's been for this recording, I think we're gonna start scavenging these places in the next episode, and we're gonna end at this one here. I'm Carp. This has been NEO Scavenger, Post-Apocalyptic Badass. Goodbye, world. Thanks for watching. See you next time.